Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. So we are looking at one more standard mode deck before we head back to wild mode in our next video. So one more standard mode deck. Of course, I'd have to go back to Christian. Over the last couple of weeks, Christian has been feeding me some phenomenal standard decks. I've been pouring through his YouTube channel, watching his videos, very entertaining content. And I am coming across these amazing decks, these off-meta decks that win games on the ladder. And this deck right here is the N'Zoth Army deck. It's a rogue deck. Rogue, along with Demon Hunter, is one of my least played classes in Hearthstone. I never got along with Rogue. Me and the Rogue hero power, we never saw eye to eye. Me and the Rogue playstyle, we never saw eye to eye. However, when I saw this deck, I thought, gosh, I've got to give it a try. What is the core strategy? The core strategy is that you play N'Zoth, God of the Deep. You then Shadow Step N'Zoth, you then play Togwaggle Scheme and shuffle multiple copies of N'Zoth into your deck. You basically then outvalue your opponent from that point onward, especially good against slower opponents who will never be able to match you with the N'Zoth value. Against aggro, you've got multiple taunts in this deck, so hopefully you can survive, and the aim is to stabilize, and that is the standard strategy against aggro. Once you stabilize, you should hopefully be able to win. And if you're in a position to play N'Zoth, you're likely to get taunts back, and then they can't attack your face, and you probably just win from there. So we're going to look at multiple games with this deck in action on the standard mode ladder. And our first game is going to be against another rogue. So I'm not entirely sure about the most effective mulligan for this deck, given my lack of experience. One Thief seems sensible. We'll be able to combo it out somehow. It's cheap. And a Devoted Maniac, well, it's an invocation of Galakron. That's always helpful and useful. We get a Lackey to hand and we get Rush. It's good value for 4 mana. Happy to keep that in hand too. Okay, Mr. Rogue, what have you got for me on turn 1? Do you have anything at all? Nothing? Nothing at all?
Happy Feast of Wintervale.
Or maybe I get a free win? No, I thought he was disconnected and I was going to get a free win. No such luck. No such luck at all. Okay, the opponent is now awake. This is a good thing. The game can progress. Classic start here. Neither of us really doing anything. Okay. Are you thinking about that 1 mana and how you're going to utilise it? Or are you just wasting our time? Is it going to be one of those games? Roping every turn? Come on.
I wonder.
Thank you. So, nothing to do.
Justice is mine.
I assume that coining out the Maniac would not be a good play there. Wow. Slow for both of us here. Right. We just get something on the board here. Togwaggle Scheme is charging itself up.
Power is what you seek.
Oh wow.
Is what I provide.
Okay, so... Oh, hello! Well then. Interesting choices here. I did think about Polket, but I think clearing his Polket is better than playing my own.
Justice is mine.
There is one issue with playing Polket. It will mean that Shadow Step will be the last thing that you draw. So if you are desperate to play N'Zoth and to Shadow Step it, you could be waiting a while.
If power is what you seek, knowledge is what I provide.
But thankfully for me, I do have Shadow Step in hand, and I do have Togwaggle Scheme in hand. So I'm okay playing Polket here.
Your feeble magic amuses me.
Okay. What is the easiest way to get through that? I do want to preserve my 3/7. I feel that can be quite impactful on future turns. So I'm going to sacrifice Polket, unfortunately. He has to go here.
Wisdom you lack.
Our face is taking a hammering.
I'm free, and so is my curse.
Alright. This is still pretty good, though.
Dark in the sky,
Oh, okay.
reigns.
They only draw one card. There's N'Zoth.
Buried alive.
Daring escape. Wouldn't that have been tempting? We'll take Potion of Illusion instead.
Justice is mine.
Alright, fair bit of pressure on this board. And this is where I'm going to start to struggle, because for N'Zoth, I will need to try and keep mental track of what minions I've played.
Say the magic word.
Because he will, of course, resurrect one of each type of minions. I need to keep track of this. Alright, there's a... Oh, okay. I have a feeling that Ogre was instrumental in winning us that game.
Maiev versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine.
None can escape my fury.
Okay, maybe we could face a slightly more challenging opponent here. So, this is more than likely to be a Tikatis Warlock. I think the question here is whether they play Galakrond. There are different versions of Tikatis Warlock. Some play Galakrond, some don't. Polkelt, do we keep him? I'm going to get rid of him. I typically don't want to play him until I get a Shadow Step in hand. There's Shadow Step. And until I get Togwaggle Scheme available to me. Otherwise, you could just be waiting a very long time to get to those cards to combo with N'Zoth. Oh, there's the Scheme. Excellent. Maybe I should have kept Polkelt then. Maybe we just would have drawn those cards naturally before playing him. And we need to be cautious with the Warlock. The Warlock will look to mill our cards. We do not want N'Zoth milled. In which case, maybe I should have kept Polkelt in the hand. Just so that I can draw N'Zoth swiftly before Tikatis comes down. That's a consideration. So already you can see some pretty thoughtful decision making required with this deck. It's not necessarily an easy deck to pilot.
Do you see what must be done?
Oh wow. We're a demon hunter now. Huh. Do I want that kept on the board? It's 2 health. It's a bit weak. I think we try again. Oh. Well, that's a lot better. I'll take 6 health over 2 health any day of the week. Yeah, I felt that Altruist was just too vulnerable with 2 health. There are too many ways for the Warlock to take it down. Okay, in the end, it didn't matter. Yeah, Dark Skies is just... it was going to take down anything that was played there, so it's fine. But we have a nice curve, potentially. A 5-drop to come. We'll find something to do on turn 6, and then we have a nice dragon on turn 7. Jolly good. I bet one of those demons is Tocatus. I bet. Okay, there he is.
If power is what you seek, knowledge is what I provide.
Okay, I've just realised something. I played the Shadow Step. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, I've messed up. Because now we've played Polkelt, Shadow Step is the last card that we draw. Okay, that's a problem. That's a real problem.
I will act as your scale, dragon.
And to think, I spent all that time talking about Polkelt and the impact on Shadow Step and Togwaggle's scheme. And then actually go ahead and use the Shadow Step and then play the Polkelt. And the second copy of Shadow Step is now just going to be stuck in our deck. I feel like such a fool here. Who knows? Maybe in this game, maybe we won't need multiple copies of Zoth.
Your feeble magic amuses.
Although the other thing to consider is that if they play Tocatus and start burning my cards, it will bring me closer to Shadow Step. Maybe this isn't so bad, actually. Maybe I'm overreacting to the situation.
From nothing.
I don't particularly like any of these here. I'm quite entertained by the prospect of Shadow Clone, just because I've never played it before. We're just invoking Galakron there. This isn't a particularly good turn or a particularly strong turn by any means, although Mirror Entity may prove useful. Okay, that's an interesting trade. Goodbye, Kronks. Goodbye, Baron. Goodbye, Kartut. Goodbye, Flick. And goodbye, Taunt. Oh dear. But we got Mirror Entity. Oh, it's dead. Okay. We just need to ensure that Shadow Step, the second copy, does not get discarded or milled. there's Ankar.
I'm free, and so is my curse.
So the purpose of that play, yes, it's not a fully charged Galacrond, but the purpose was to get Ankar, and I know I was guaranteed to get her because of the Polket effect. So I just needed to put a taunt down on the board. I don't want to take the damage from the Tikatis. Okay, it looks like I'm going to take the damage now. But that is pretty good. That's a nice bonus. It looks like the secret paid off. Another taunt, perhaps?
I will act as your scale, dragon.
I really want to upgrade the Maniac there. But the trade was just better, right?
On wings of evil.
The Twilight Drake could hopefully be pretty big for us. We've got a fair number of cards in hand, so that'll be nice. Oh, he's playing the plot twist version. How interesting. The version that I played in my last video had the quest in it, as well as plot twist.
Come close and burn.
Nice, board clear. Do we care about that? Do we need to rush it down? I guess it wouldn't hurt to kill it. Very nice. So normally I would have killed off the Maniac there with the rush effect, but actually upgrading it does seem to be better value. We get a 4/5 body on board rather than a 2/2. That seems pretty good to me. Targwaggle scheme, 12 copies potentially now. Well, 12 copies now, sorry. Potentially far more copies in the future as each of these turns progresses. We just need to get to Shadow Step. But this could take a while. Unless he plays Ishraj and then the second Tikatis. I imagine that's what he's hunting for.
I wonder.
There's a reasonable amount of pressure on this board.
Forbidden rituals, you say?
Okay. Sure. That's good information. We know to expect a broodmother in the near future. All of this lackey value has been really working out well for us in this game. It's easy to underestimate the power of lackeys because they're small, but the utility is just excellent. It really is.
Name, please?
Victory!
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Trouble!
just extra damage, right? Argent Commander. Giving it a little bit more health, I think, just protects it from some of the spells from the Warlock. I think that's sensible.
They're not trapped. They're my friends.
Still waiting for the second Tocatus to come down.
So easily. Oh, up to no good? Me too.
Okay, what board clear do you have now?
It's perfectly harmless.
Okay. I need to stop predicting these things. Oh dear. Four cards left in our deck. This is concerning. If the second Tocatus gets played, we will lose Shadow Step. So we need to get to Shadow Step quickly. Before Tocatus comes down again. She's got to hope and pray. The opponent may not feel the need to play second Tocatus through Yashraj. They may not feel threatened by what I'm doing on the board, and they may see that I've only got 4 cards left in the deck, and they may just feel pretty safe. Probably should have hero pad first, but it's fine. We just keep presenting these slightly annoying boards.
He's too full.
Come on, you've got to have Yashraj now. It's got to be in your hand. Or maybe their deck doesn't play it.
I wonder.
Maybe they think they don't need a second Tocatus and they're just fine with their other cards.
I found a new source of
Okay, that's good. It's good for us. We are a step closer to Shadow Step.
Running out of cards.
Much closer to Shadow Step now. It's just going to come down to the next turn. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do this. Sure, there are multiple ways there.
I am only more deadly.
Okay. Probably could have done that better. Probably could have kept that alive rather than trading it in. I don't know. But it's not even going to matter. If we get our Shadow Step and we get that N'Zoth down, my poor plays aren't going to matter in the grand scheme of things. We're just going to win the
I
game.
found a new source of
Okay, no second Tocatus. So, ladies and gentlemen, this clears the way now. for N'Zoth to come down onto the board. I don't know if I need the board space, so I just trade everything. And we take it back to hand. Actually, it was stupid of me to trade the last minion in because N'Zoth was never going to completely fill the board, right? Because it's one of each minion type. So that was stupid of me. I could have preserved the Miscreant. Okay, he's not going to outvalue us. And there we go. Pretty sweet win. Okay, time for a priest. Priests with Galakrond usually can last the long game. The Galakrond hero power offers them tremendous value. But our N'Zoth Shadow Step Scheme combo, I think, is just far more value orientated than whatever they can do with their Galakrond hero power. We just need to last into the long game. And I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem against the priest. Now, we have the Scheme and the Shadow Step in hand. Let's not make the same mistake that was made in the last game. Let's not use up this Shadow Step, unless we draw the other Shadow Step, of course. Because once we play Polkelt, the second copy of Shadow Step will essentially be at the bottom of the deck.
Justice is mine.
So let's not make that same mistake again. If we find Polkelt, we can play him, but need to ensure we keep Scheme and the Shadow Step in hand. Not to be used until it's combo time. This is going to be another one of those nothing to do games in the first few turns. So I'm going to take the initiative here. I don't know if that was the correct play.
My business.
I don't know if I should just have daggered up and passed again. At least this puts a bit of pressure on the board. How scared am I of that thought steal? What do I not want the priest to steal here? Anyway. Bit of pressure on the board.
Well played.
See what the priest can extend to deal with it. Yeah. Clearly mulling over those two cards that were stolen.
Power in trinkets.
Okay. Actually gets value from one of the stolen cards. So, well played indeed. Ooh. Proto Drake, I like a lot.
Justice is mine.
We can surprise the priest with a flame strike at some point, if we fancy it. They won't see it coming, for sure. Anchor the Buried is going to do some nice work for us. Although, do we really want the Drake to be cheapened by Anchor? Do we really want that initial body to be cheapened in stats? I'm not so sure. Okay, we shall see. We have time to think this over. hero power and think a bit more. Use the stolen card.
Must choose quickly.
Interesting. Togwaggle scheme? Really? Are you kidding me? You've used a Togwaggle scheme with 2 charge. Just to shuffle
I will act as your
that
scapegoat.
into your deck. Come on. If you were the priest, surely you'd just want to keep that in hand. And there'd be much better targets for later in the game. And that scheme would perhaps allow the priest to keep pace with me, maybe, in the late game, once I shuffle my N'Zoths. Depending, of course, on what the priest chooses to shuffle into their deck. But I can't help but feel that that was a waste.
Happy Feast of Wintervale.
That's fine. Still got the bodies on board. That's all I care about. That's a nice dragon.
His will be done.
10 cards in hand. We need to play something. I do not want to play Anchor. So just play a lackey here. Onyxia seems fine. Oh, this is a problem. I misplayed. I played the wrong lackey. Oh gosh, we've got a full hand. We're going to burn a card next turn. That's not good. Knowing my luck, it'll be N'Zoth. Or Scrapyard Colossus. Or Polkelt. Or something good. Something else that's good. Oh, that was a stupid mistake. That was a really stupid mistake. Okay, that was fine. Thankfully, we were not punished.
His will be done.
Please,
Justice is
please do
mine.
forgive the misplays.
His will be done.
Evil magic amused.
Justice is mine.
Well, with a deck like this, if your misplays do not kill you, in other words, if you survive your misplays and get to the late game,
On wings of destruction.
then the N'Zoth Shadow Step scheme combo
You think this is you?
usually is going to mean you just win the game anyway. Rendering your misplays harmless. In other words, they didn't matter. They really didn't matter. So that's the positive thing of this deck.
One stab, many kill.
Justice is mine.
Okay. Just want a clear board. And I think that was an okay way of achieving it. Yes, wow indeed. So we just need to survive to our combo and we will be absolutely fine, I think. He's just going to keep generating all this value, right? With the Veil Weavers, with his Galacrond. Doesn't matter. I will never run out of resources. And that's a typical pre-strategy, right? Run your opponent out of threats, out of resources, keep clearing those boards. And then outvalue them with Galacrond. This deck cannot be outvalued by Galacrond, so we're going to be absolutely fine, I think. Okay, there's a safeguard. How desperate are we to kill the Veil Weaver? I think we are relatively desperate. I don't want to take the face damage, hence why I traded in there. And whether that was correct or not is irrelevant, because ultimately everything we're doing now is just building up to the N'Zoth play. So as I said before, as long as we can get to that point intact with our health at a reasonable total, then we're going to be absolutely fine. We'd just like to point out there is a River Croc on the board. This brings back early memories from 2014, where River Croc was a common inclusion in many decks in Hearthstone.
Justice is mine.
So we shall
Justice is
pose a problem for the priest with the Proto Drake. I value the 8/8 body, hence why I have played the Drake before playing Anchor. Okay, that is fine. What do we get? Oh wow, Mount Sulla. That is pretty... Okay, yeah. Very quick Shadow Word Death there.
amazing.
To get rid of it. Snap, play the Shadow Word Death. So one thing that we are lacking in this deck really is healing. So if your opponent can get a wide board going, like the priest somehow has now, it does put our health total under a bit of pressure. We have Kartat Defender. That is our core bit of healing. Of course, Kronks can heal you as well. And maybe the lackeys can help with discovering healing effects. Yeah, there are dragons that can heal your face, spells that can heal. But in general,
Wings of destruction they come.
you know, health can be an issue if the board is just overrun.
This world.
Tombs.
We are lacking a lackey to go with Togwaggle. So our health is restored, but that board is still quite annoying. Okay, there he is.
Justice is mine.
Very good to see the Lawkeeper, because now we can work towards the Scrapyard Colossus. Maybe we play Anchor and then the Scrapyard and the Safeguard as well. So those are our future plays, perhaps. I just want to get things killed off now and in the Resurrection pool, because we are then going to be in a position to play N'Zoth. So it's just time to speed things up a bit now and see this game out.
I wonder.
Polkelt is such a welcome sight.
If power
On
is
wild
what
mode,
seek, knowledge is what I
you know,
provide.
Reno Priest that draws Polkelt just wins, right? Particularly if they get it, you know, on turn 5, they just win the game. In this deck, Polkelt will signal the arrival of the Colossus of N'Zoth and so forth. So yes, it is the beginning of the end. Still a frustrating board in play.
Not too quickly.
Okay. I guess we can take down something. One of the 4/2s. The taunt makes most sense. Okay. Zarog's Crown, Wondrous Wand. What do I want here? Okay, this is pretty sweet. 0 cost Scrapyard. We get the stats
Justice is mine.
on the initial body, which means that was a better play than just playing Ankar and getting a 1/1 initial body. I was tempted by Ankar on that last turn, but actually no, this was a better play, I think. Oh, are you kidding me? Again?
On wings of destruction, they come.
Sure. His hand is thinning, though. Slowly but surely running out of resources in hand. Just need to survive a little bit longer. So I've been waiting all this time to play Ankar. Is it safe to do so?
Freed, and so is my curse.
See, the stats here have been lessened because we've played her. Should I not have played her? Should I just have played the safeguard as it was?
Say the magic word.
With better stats, higher health to protect, to absorb more hits and to protect me.
Dark in the skies, my nightmare reigns.
I think this play makes up for it though.
Darkness wanes.
We can put more stats onto the board. Alright, we need to hurry this up. Can we fit this all in? The rope is burning. Just about. Okay, we didn't get the additional taunt effect, but that's fine. This is still very much a commanding board. Hopefully he doesn't have an easy way of dealing with it.
I must consider.
16 copies. I think I just need to go for it soon. What's the point of waiting? 16 copies is more than enough. Nobody's ever going to outlast 16 copies. Or maybe N'Zoth is not needed. Maybe this board right here is just going to be enough to win the game for us. There's of course another part of me that just wants to stall. Give the opponent an opportunity to come back into the game, to clear the board, just so I have the excuse of playing N'Zoth, Shadow Step, Togwaggle Scheme. A lot of thought put into this turn by the opponent. Power Incarnate! Now that's a game changer. That really is a game changer. On that turn. But I have this. I think the opponent knows what's coming. Yes, wow indeed, sir. You're about to get outvalued massively. And I'm taking great joy in this. This is not BM, by the way. I'm taking great joy and happiness because this is an off-meta deck. This is an off-meta deck that is successfully taking on a priest deck. A priest deck that is considered generally to be very effective in standard mode. A priest deck that can silence your board. And then potentially go face
We will feed on this world.
with a 12 attack dragon. Well, do it again. Oh, isn't that sweet? I've just noticed the River Croc comes back. It's a beast. And any moment now, the concede. I actually would have liked to have sapped Deathwing back to his hand, just to give the priest this feeling that they can come back into the game somehow by playing Deathwing again. Wow, that was a sweet victory there. Okay, so Christian's N'Zoth Army Rogue. Ladies and gentlemen, this is now one of my favourite decks on standard mode. Me and Rogue don't get along, as you know, and yet here is a deck that I can play comfortably, have fun with, and still win some games on the ladder. So what more can I ask for? Relatively expensive deck, 12,400 dust. Word of warning, if you are considering investing dust in the deck and you're looking at cards like Anchor the Buried, these are cards that very rarely see play at all in any deck on standard or wild. If you are going to be crafting these niche cards like Anchor, please remember one thing. You're not going to win every game with this deck on the ladder. The games take a long time as well because you're building up to that big ending with N'Zoth and the Scheme and the Shadow Step. So if you're looking to ladder up swiftly and very effectively, then maybe you want to play one of those tier 1 meta decks. This is just my standard health warning that I have to put out there because in the past I have had people, reply or provide a comment saying, oh, I crafted this deck and I didn't win any games, and they're quite upset about it. So yes, I have to give that health warning. Off meta deck, please take care if you are spending dust on any of these cards. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had so much fun making this video. I've had so much fun on standard mode, thanks to Christian, with this video and the previous video with that interesting quest control Tikatus, Yashraj, Elysiana, Warlock. There were a few more legendaries in there as well that I've forgotten about. But I've had so much fun, so thank you so much to Christian for providing me with these decks. So, starting with the next video, we are going back to wild mode, and we will be looking at LPG Mage, that is the Luna's Pocket Galaxy Mage on wild mode, high value greed, which I absolutely love. A bit like this deck actually. So thanks for joining me everyone, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you all again very soon for more Hearthstone fun.